The Code is a new movie by Eugene Kotlyarenko. This is his 7th feature. I consider this filmmaker to be a part of the new vanguard of indie filmmaking. I first got into his work in 2020 with his movie Spree, which pleasantly enthralled me. And not just for its insane concept and manic Joe Keery performance, also executive producer credit from Drake, but it really just seemed like this filmmaker gets it. Like, this filmmaker has such a firm grip on all that is trending on social media, also pushing the cinematic envelope on every new release that he does. Going back and watching all his other movies, it really made me appreciate how he came from like something like Skydiver or Zeros and Ones to Spree. And while there's some Eugene films that I prefer over the other, you can't help but to observe how ahead of the curve this guy has always been. While half of his filmography you could consider found footage or post-found footage, the other half, movies like Wobble Palace, We Are, or A Wonderful Cloud, have this like post-mumblecore style to it, reminding me a little bit of like Joe Swanberg. On The Code, it seems like he's going back to his roots, bringing back familiar faces like Dasha Nekrasova and Vishwam Valandi, but he's expanding his vision even more, being like his most ambitious movie yet. Also, Peter Vack as the lead, and he is awesome for a project like this. He's a great Eugene stand-in, and overall it's his most ambitious movie yet. It follows this documentarian named Celine Unger who is trying to capture 2020 pre-vaccine COVID. But her documentary isn't focused so much on the pandemic as it is the relationship between her and her boyfriend Jay, and how they've not been intimate for a long period of time. The two go to Joshua Tree to get footage and stay in this house that has cameras everywhere, kind of like one of those reality surveillance house shows. And this brings the couple into a state of paranoia where they are using all of this tech to pick apart at each other as they're figuring out what the next stage of their relationship will be. So this movie uses like 70 different cameras and splits the screen up in so many different ways. For some, it might be a lot to keep up with, but I think Eugene and cinematographer Barton Courtwright, who is just tearing it up right now, he has so many great projects, create something pretty remarkable here. As it stands, a sex rom-com done by found footage is a pretty original idea, and like this movie or not, objectively I think it's really cool. Eugene comes off as a very intelligent guy and clearly has something to say about modern relationships and the tech that we use, but he also loves to have fun. He has a real sense of humor that is sprinkled everywhere on The Code. It does get a little bit loopy. There is a subplot that kind of derails the story a little bit. It does end up playing into the plot a little bit more, but I don't know, it just felt a little random. It reminded me a little bit of the subplot on the movie Bottle Rocket, but at the same time, there's a lot of great scenes on this movie. There's one involving an escape room, and they use TikToks to like tell the story, as well as these made up apps that are installed on the couple's phones to further increase the insecurity. And as a 2020 period piece, there's jokes and commentary about exposure, cancel culture, and online humiliation. But it all feels accurate and funny, and I enjoyed all the performances too. I think Dasha Nekrasova and Eugene have a unique creative energy. I've enjoyed all of the characters that she's played through his movies, and also the chemistry between her and Peter Vack is great too. There's also the Eugene regular Vishwam Valandi, who is always pretty funny. And there's also Ivy Wolk on here, who I've seen on like a bunch of things recently, and I think she's a great young talent. She has a very bold presence. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it's my favorite in his catalog, but it is a singular vision that I recommend. I would give The Code a 7.7. The Code had its New York premiere at the Downtown Festival and it will be coming out sometime in 2025. Thank you for watching.